Welcome to this installment of From the Trailer with your hosts, Michael Bernstein and Gustavo Soler. From the Trailer is broadcast weekly throughout Orlando from a custom-built, state-of-the-art on-site broadcasting trailer and features interviews from unique guests from all facets of the entertainment and production industry. And now, please welcome two individuals with over 50 years of real-world experience in the world of movies, video, audio, live, and virtual event production. Your hosts for From the Trailer, Michael Bernstein and Gustavo Soler.
Hey, and once again, we want to thank you for checking us out on our TV series here called From the Trailer. This week, we've got a gentleman who creates music for independent projects, corporate events, pretty much anything anybody needs. He does more electronic style music. He does play a couple instruments, I think. I don't really know, but we'll find out more about this person in a minute. Right now, I just want to say if you see either Gustavo or I looking around while we're creating this, it's because we're actually in the production trailer. And basically, as you can see, this is where I'm at over here. Gustavo's over in the audio world, which is behind that wall over behind me. So if we are looking around, we're sorry for that. It's because we are trying to record this as we're doing it and make this show available for you guys. So the other thing we have to go in today is that right now I'm actually wearing a shirt from Adamus. We are definitely Adamus supporters, and we like Adamus products. And what we're doing is we've got a little thing for our sponsors that basically gave us a couple of things, and we're going to go ahead and do a little contest for our subscribers. So if you subscribe, what we're going to do is we're giving away an Adamus Connect. What this does is it allows you to take any HDMI signal into a computer through USB 2.0, 3.0
Nice.
plug, and then you can take that video image and stream it to anywhere you want, or video capture, or pretty much whatever it is you need to do with it. So right now what we want to do is welcome our guest. His name is Rick Barranco.
What's up?
And he basically is a music master, I guess, right? Is that
No,
what you're trying to say?
I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, to me, I know nothing about music. I pretty much was one of those kids where, you know, your mom made you play the piano and I was like, I'm not doing this.
Right.
So anybody who can make a song to me is a music master. I have no clue how music is made or how it's created. I do understand that, you know, there is instruments, and I think you're more into the electronic side
That's
of it.
correct, yeah.
What I understand.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I've been in the music business pretty much all my life. Started off producing shows when I was young. And my first project really was a record deal that I did down in Fort Lauderdale with a friend of mine. We put a group together called Intrusion. And the funny thing is, you know, during that time, it was 79, 80, 81 is when the album came out. And so that's when I fell in love with electronic music, dude. It was like the coolest thing ever, because I actually produced my first album because I knew what the music should sound like, and we couldn't play the stuff ourselves, so we would hire track musicians to come on in and kind of play our stuff. And interestingly, we got a handwritten letter from Keith Emerson, because that's what we were into at the time. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Yes, all that kind of stuff, you know. And so that's what really got me into it. And then, you know, from there I ended up becoming a producer at Disney for almost 30 years, probably 28, 29 years. And then currently I'm the executive producer for Red Rocket Studios. And obviously Michael and Gustavo, we use you guys all the time. You guys are awesome. And, you know, so we have a lot of fun doing that as well.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, you guys have been great. A lot of cool projects over the years.
A quick question about your starting, though.
Right.
Did you do any like traditional instruments or music before the electronic stuff was coming out, or did you pretty much start right off with the electronic stuff?
No, electronics weren't really available back then. I mean, you know, to me it was, I started off playing percussion, drums, you know, in school.
Oh, okay.
So I was bass, you know, I used to play triple bass back in the day, you know, kind of thing. So I'm kind of a percussionist drummer by trade. I moved into playing guitar because somebody told me I could pick up girls playing guitar. So I thought, hey, that's cool. They totally lied about that, by the way. But I mean, it was, guitar was a cool thing, so that was always good. And then I moved into piano. My mom used to play piano in the choir and at her school, and so we always had a piano at home. And I started playing with that, writing music, and that's kind of how I started. So, yeah. And then when electronics first came out, man, it changed my world completely.
When
Very cool.
I mean, how I know electronics have changed over the years. Obviously, I mean, it's pretty much from a big giant machine to now just doing things on a laptop.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
Does that change the creative side of it for you as well, or is it pretty much your creativity is kind of still the same?
I think it's twofold, right? So right now, it's made it so much easier because back in those days, you would play something on the piano and you go, that is a good riff. You're playing it, that's really cool. But you didn't have anything to record it with. So you better damn be sure you remember what the hell you played by the time you get it down on paper, or you're writing it all out. Nowadays, you sit behind your DAW and you're like messing around and you record the whole thing. It's not a big deal. And you chop the parts up that you want and you create the song based on that. So I think, the ideas come to fruition a lot quicker, man, when you're doing it these days as opposed to in the past,
What gives you ideas for your songs most of the time? Is it like certain kind of, feeling, or is it just basically you have a client that says, I want this, or is it a mix of all different things?
I think, a lot of my, to go back kind of what you had mentioned, a lot of my music over the years has, a lot of the stuff that I've produced over the years have been more electronic, more chill out electronica kind of stuff. And it's pretty much, I on my own, I kind of threw it out there to different labels and different companies to stream live. So a lot of my music is played kind of internet radio-ish, kind of background music things. But typically, I've used a lot of my music for video projects at Disney. If I'm producing an event for Disney and one, as an example, I wanted something that was really kind of cutting edge video project. And the way the video was cut was very kind of, kind of side cuts and doing a lot of cool looks and from one shot to the next. Well, I couldn't find the tune that I was looking for, So then, I sat down in my studio and I came up with like a dubstep thing, right? So, and dubstep is not I like dubstep, but it's not it's not my kind of genre that I write. So I sat down and I kind of wrote this whole dubstep thing out, very, very, Skrillex kind of vibe to it, And I used that for this kind of opening video piece, which turned out actually pretty good. So those are the kind of projects that I've been working on. That song played when we did the big special event in Shanghai. So all of that kind of stuff has been played. So my music has been kind of all over the place, but not so much as Rick Barranco music. It's more on different projects like Disney and things like that. So it's been pretty cool.
Do you have a favorite genre of music?
Yeah,
are you pretty much open to everything?
Yeah, I tend to write more really cool layered. My main instrument obviously is piano. If you look up my name online, you'll kind of see my bio. But I write kind of stuff that's really kind of textural and has a lot of cool melodies to it. I like layering a lot of melodies to my stuff. But it's all based around piano. I kind of have what I think is kind of my sound. It's very if you're into Ryan Farish is another great artist that I kind of look up to. So it's more based around piano. I have a specific piano sound that I like, and I kind of mix it with all different genres. So my music isn't kind of in one genre. I would say probably more electronic ambient chill out music is what I call it. When people categorize it, it's tough. If you go to if you go to Google Music or if you go to Apple Music kind of stuff, you'll see it under electronic, but that's kind of a coverall, So, I've done stuff just piano alone. We'll probably play that a little bit later, but I've done a lot of different things. So.
Now, when you're creating this music, do you like it better when you have your own open time to do it, or when a client says, "I need this in a week"?
No, I don't.
Which do you prefer?
I think typically I'll write something for a client project, if it's something that I can't find anywhere else, like I don't set out to write music for video. What I do is if I can't find something that works quick, I like to take my time writing. So obviously I don't have a lot of stuff out there, so I do take my time writing this stuff. But sometimes they come really fast. Like one of my songs called Imperfect. It's just me at the piano, and I put a bass line to it, and it was done in an hour. That's all I did. So one of my, I guess if I had a hit, not really a hit, but something that's becomes really, really popular over the years, it's been a song called 410 Chill. And that's been played a lot, and I've used it on a couple of video projects, but it wasn't a work for hire. It was more, hey, that song was really cool. Let's use it for a video project, So it was that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I got that track ready to go if you want me to play it.
Yeah, man, go ahead. Play it. Absolutely, yeah.
Roll a little bit of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can tell you for sure I know it.
Right, because we've used it quite a bit.
I think we've used it on a couple of different events we've been
we
with
probably
you.
have.
So.
It helps when you produce an event too. So I kind of mix in the plucks and the synth parts, and as they go. I love the kind of the transy kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, you always lean a lot on percussive melodic sounds, is what I noticed.
As a drummer, that's kind of I always kind of start with that, I have a lot
Definitely
of percussion.
chill out.
Yeah.
I just want to be in Ibiza or
Me too, buddy.
hanging out at the beach.
Me too.
So now is this the kind of thing where you do just the percussion first, and then you come back and then do the next layer, or do you try and create it all at one time?
Yeah.
Because like I said, I know nothing about music.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man. With this song, what I did was I had a melody in mind. Most people kind of start with a beat or a percussion. They have a cool beat that they're looking. I tend to put the beats after the song's kind of built. It's interesting, and then I layer percussive pieces over top, whether I create it or I find a cool loop that I love. I'll kind of put that in there too. But it's got to make sense to me. It's just.
Rick.
Yeah.
Based on you're talking about putting it all together and the DAW, DAW workstation for it. Don't you find that producing can be so simplified nowadays that makes something? I mean, what do you think? Have you found yourself where you produce something and you're like, and that came out really easy, but it's like not thick. It's just put together.
Yeah, that's why I don't produce a whole crap load of things, because I think I want it to be what I hear in my head, as opposed to just putting down a beat and then a bass line over top and then throwing piano on top. It's easy. You're right. It's absolutely easy to sit down and put out all kinds of stuff. And maybe I should be. I don't know, right? But I love,
I meant it more like I see so much stuff, and you talked about loops and resources.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude.
That when you start looking into it all, and some of the big cats on YouTube that you're listening to, and you're like, man, you might want to recheck your pitch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just put together.
Yeah. Well, they don't put enough time into it. I think, what I do is I might find a cool sample, right? And I might take that sample and I might pitch it up 3 or 4 octaves to make it sound kind of that tropical house vibe, because I like that. And then I might build a song around it, or I might build a tune around it, depending on what it is, But it just whatever hits you,
It seems that the electronic world has made everything so, I don't want to say simple, I want to say easier access.
Yeah.
That, I don't know, people lost sense of producing.
Yeah, I know.
Like the fact of having a producer, which it can be a dual, purpose. You can have both functions.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
You have to think about your product, not just like slap 2 things together.
Right. Well, and that's the problem too. You have a lot of kids these days are putting together some actually pretty good stuff, but it's just thrown together. It's not really kind of produced. And I would say, I probably spend a lot of time on the little intricacies of my music to get it sounding good. When instead of writing, which I should be, I should spend more time writing than I do. But a lot of times I'll spend time on a song that I really like that I've created. I'll spend a month working on tweaks and that kind of stuff. And then, it's always hard, man. You got the greatest gear, but no matter what happens, man, you bring it to a mastering engineer, you kind of get it really top level. And still, man, it doesn't sound like the pros, it's just when you do the comparison. And then you got guys doing stuff on a laptop in an airport that sounds better than anything I've ever heard, so I think, you know what I mean? It's like, where do you stop? That's a problem I have, to be honest, man. I've sat down and come out with something that I think is, man, it's done, right? The electronic, it sounds good. The piano sounds good. It sounds good to my ears. And then I'll turn around and a new app will come out, or a new plugin will come on, and I'll add a plug on it. Oh man, that's cool. And I'll remaster it again. And I'll keep, and you never get anything done.
Yeah, never-ending story.
It's a never-ending story.
Bring it up. What platforms are you using? I mean, what kind of gear do you support here?
So I'm a big Studio One fan. I love Studio One. I have Studio One 5. I use that exclusively. I was a big Cakewalk fan back in the day. And I love that. And I used Acid for a while for loops and that kind of thing. But I've been a Studio One fan ever since they came out. I use an Akai Advanced 61 keyboard, MIDI keyboard. And I've got all of the. Obviously, I have Silence, and I have all the Akai software programs. I have thousands of synths that I layer and love. I have my trusty Chord Trinity synthesizer over here that I use from time to time as well. So I have a little outboard gear as well that I use, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I'm not so. What I do is I use a program called VIP, and so. VIP's from InMusic, I think. The cool thing about VIP is you can layer, 10 synths all at once. Pick the synths, layer it together, and create like this huge monster sound, and then record it obviously on the DAW and do it that way. So I do a lot of that. I do a lot of layering kind of thing. So it's great. Losing my thing here, but
oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the other one. I was like, I don't want to talk to you if you can't hear me.
No, I can hear you now. Yeah, I just lost. I have one ear in. There you go. So.
Yeah, I know the resources nowadays are ridiculous, and sometimes it's like, wow, it makes so much difference. Plugins, like you said, it's very extent.
Yeah, I really do, man. I think and the other thing is too, the way I write is something I'll be on the kick, like 410 Chill was obviously got some airplay, and when I say airplay, I don't mean like you're going to hear it driving down the road, but it's pretty cool, when you call out your name on Alexa. And this is actually a funny story. I have a 5-year-old son named Aiden, right? So, and when 410 Chill started to kind of get out there a little bit more mainstream, and I could pull it up whenever I wanted to online. It was kind of cool. I was just kind of smitten that I could just call, hey Alexa, play 410 Chill, playing Rick Barranco radio, 410 Chill. I thought that, wow, how cool is that? Now Alexa can play my music, And so I wanted to impress my son, and so my son loves Alexa, right? He's like, play whatever, right? He's always calling out to it. So I'm like, Alexa, hey Aiden, check this out. 410, Alexa, play 410 Chill. And he goes, Alexa, don't play that. Play more. He's like, damn, there's enough people telling me they don't want to hear my music. My own son? Come on. I mean, it was pretty, I just thought that was funny, Yeah. And the other thing too, there's as Gustavo, there's a certain point of saturation. It's so much music out there. People don't release their music like they typically do anymore. It's all released like I do. I mean, you release it through CD Baby or wherever, and it gets all the platforms, and people can pull it up anytime they want, and so it's a little bit more difficult to make a name for yourself, obviously. So it is a lot more difficult, and especially for me because I write different genres all the time. 410 Chill is more electronic. I was on a kick a couple years back, and I wrote a song called Night Run, which actually is released now. You can kind of pick it up. So Night Run is another song that is more synthwave. So I love the 80s kind of vibe. I put actually for the cover of the actual tune, I actually put a picture of my car, the 1981 DeLorean.
Okay.
That I have on the front cover.
This is where I got to step in for a second. Okay, for our viewers who don't know, Mr. Barranco owns a car that is cooler than he is.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yes, you do.
But you have to be a little bit cool to buy a car like that, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, it's a DeLorean.
Right.
There you go,
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's a DeLorean. Yeah, it is a DeLorean.
It's one of those things that a lot of us did grow up watching it in a certain movie.
Yeah. See, now, behind me, that's my car.
But what most people don't know about Mr. Barranco is he bought the car before he saw Back to the Future. And This was not in the 80s when he bought the car. When did you buy the car?
So I've had the car for about 20 years, a little over 20 years.
Okay, so late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, 2000s, yeah, but pretty much, yeah.
And you never saw the movie?
Right. Well, I've seen it now. I've seen it since.
Okay.
But, so the story I always tell, Michael knows this story, is I bought the car in upstate New York. I trailered the car down. It was time for me I wanted to buy a nice kind of like luxury sports car. And I looked around at other models and I was like, you know what, I'm not spending all kinds of money on that. I'm going to get the car I always wanted, the DeLorean, right? Live the dream, gold wing doors, the whole 9 yards. After about 6 months of research, I found the car in upstate New York. So I flew up, bought the car, trailered it down. Maybe the first week, I'm driving it to Disney. I obviously was working at Disney at the time, and I'm putting gas in the car, and you hear all kinds of comments, man. Nice car. Or, hey, I think they built those in with helicopter engines in them. No, they didn't. You're hearing all the crazy stories. And I'm pumping gas in the car. It was at the gas station at Disney. I forget Exxon or one of those. And a guy comes by. He's like, "Oh my gosh, a DeLorean, man! I haven't seen one of these in years. I'll be right back. I'll go inside and get some beer cans and some banana peels." And I went, "Okay, what the hell does that mean?" And I racked my brain. I was like, "Okay, for I don't know, 5 years." I'm like, What the hell was that comment? All the comments, that was the weirdest comment I ever had. And obviously, when I saw the movie, then I realized, I guess it was 3, or 2. I forget which one it was, but
the end of 1.
The end of 1. Thank you. The end of 1. Then I saw it and it clicked. I went, "Oh, I get it now." So
Mr. Fusion ran on banana peels and cans, beer, or sodas, whatever.
Beer, yeah. So there you go. So anyway, so that's.
So is that song based on the car, or I know?
No, not really.
I
love synthwave. I think I've been a big fan of synthwave growing up in the '80s, and so this song, when I wrote it, synthwave is all about electronics. So true synthwave has no really pianos in it. So this song is a little different, where it's synthwave with a piano lead to it, and I think it came out pretty good. I think a lot of synthwave fans that bought the tracks think it's really cool and it's unusual, but it's your typical synthwave song. And with this one, I built everything from scratch, right? I came up with I got synth drums and I kind of tweaked them to make it sound like the 80s. I used a standard hi-hat deal and stuff like that. So hey, we can play Gustavo if you want. Yeah.
Is that a software element, or is that actually hardware?
No, it's software. Yeah, they're emulators. So I use a couple of emulators that bring back the old 80s sound. They're all plugins now, right? So Gustavo, you'll know this. I have emulators that I can emulate the 80s drum kit, and that 808 and those kind of sounds, the bass line that are just triggering bass lines with effects and things like that.
Again, resources.
A lot of cool resources.
Are
to your
limited.
point. Yeah, it's great.
What's the name of the song? Sorry.
So it's Night Run. It's called Night Run.
Oh, yeah, we just played it. We were playing it in the background.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear it. But
it was basically created 100% into computer.
Yeah, absolutely. All this was done in the box. Yeah, all this was done in the box.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm not a music guy at all, so.
Yeah, so it's I can't hear it, but I'm assuming you're playing it. But yeah, see, it's like it's that kind of.
Definitely 80s.
Yeah, right?
It reminds me of like Airwolf, Knight Rider.
Right. That's exactly
that
right.
kind of a mix for their theme songs.
Yeah. And then the piano comes in. Obviously, it's a.
Have you found yourself hired, like music for hire, like for corporate events or any kind of thing like that? I mean, is that something you've been wanting to do, or?
Not really. I think, there's a great book out years ago. It's called "If You Could Write a Song," and it kind of asks the question: if somebody asked you to write a song and you had 3 days to do it, could you do it? And I could put something together, but I don't think it would be my best work. You know what I mean? Because I tend to build these songs, and then I tend to and maybe I should, but I should get better at moving fast. I really should do that. But I think my style is more of kind of nurturing and getting the song where I want it, and kind of working it that way.
I see composition from the gut.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's just like how it comes to you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's kind of the way I work. Where corporate stuff, I'm filling a bill, like the example I gave for my one client. I'm doing dubstep. I don't write dubstep. I mean, it's I know what dubstep is, so I kind of trip step, that kind of stuff. I've kind of done it before, but it's not my go-to style.
Yeah, but it kind of like came to you. You're like, man, let me give this a try. It's not something that you kind of like scooped it out.
No, yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I do is a very eclectic mix of genres, always mixed with this piano transy kind of vibe to it. So it's not, you can't really put it in a box. I mean, Night Run obviously is more 80s, right? So I guess it would be considered maybe not synthwave, but more chill wave, or something like that. But so yeah. So
how do you drift it from that to production?
You mean as far as writing production, or?
No, like going into the Disney branch of your career, if you may.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like so.
You're a multitask guy.
Yeah, I love producing. So like I've produced shows all over the world, right? So and a lot of times, obviously because I'm the producer of it, my walk-on music is being played, and I'm playing the stuff to the videos, and it's kind of a built-in producer to say I want to use that track. Well, it's my track, so so that always helps. But a lot of times it doesn't work. If it's a different kind of corporate program, my stuff won't work. I don't push my stuff if it's not useful. So
correct.
Yeah. So
you got enough to.
Got enough to worry about. Yeah, and then but on the other hand, it does take time, and I don't do enough writing. I don't do as much writing as I want to, but because I have a certain sound that I kind of fall into. I mean, I do love all the old kind of synth music, and I love all that stuff. But it's interesting. So.
And you were mentioning that we can get some of this stuff on Spotify and SoundCloud and stuff like that.
Absolutely. So I think I have 4 to 6 songs out there on readily accessible on any platform they use.
Let's take a look at your. Yeah. This is your SoundCloud page. And
so I have a couple
looks like you've got some.
Yeah, I have a couple of songs on there. I have there's one song I just wrote, has not been released yet. And there's Night Run right there. You can see my car in the front there, the green one. So it's kind of,
yeah.
so I have it kind of put in there. And the funny part is, a lot of my music ends up on background music on blogs and stuff like that. So the interesting thing is,
I can see that.
A lot of people use it, and they ask permission. Obviously, I give it to them. What do I care, And so there's a guy in Germany that does a science fiction blog, and he came across Night Run, and he said, "Listen, man, I found this song. Would you mind if I used it as my opening song for my thing?" I said, "No, man, you go ahead." And he uses it all the time, right? He's a doctor in Germany that I forgot the guy's name, but he's a doctor in Germany, and he has a passion for science fiction movies, and he does this kind of blog about how the Star Wars thing doesn't fit. As soon as he buys new collectibles, he shares them with everybody, and he interviews some of the writers, and it's that kind of thing. It's it's a video blog, right? And so he goes,
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. And he was very honest. He said, "Listen, so it's not so much the song, which I kind of like. I only really pulled it because it had a DeLorean on the front." It's like, hey, whatever works.
Speaking of which, our new intro song and our voiceover has all been done by you, and we want to thank you for that as well.
Well, yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, so I don't do a lot of remakes. I don't. I wanted to try to get into doing some more of those, but so I took the song from Kill Bill. I thought would be kind of cool for you guys. I do a lot of voiceover work too, obviously, more at Disney than anything else. But yeah, I did some stuff for them years ago that I would do a lot of voiceover work for. So my voice is still being used at Epcot and all over the place, right? So when I saw it
going your way though, huh?
Yeah, when I saw the trailer thing, I thought, man, that tune would be great for it. It's like the Kill Bill. I sped it up. I put guitars on it. I added like a synthy thing to it.
I love it.
I did a voiceover over top, and then I did, and at the end I had like what do they call it? No animals were harmed in the making of this video.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah, well, that'll be on the end of this video as well.
Yeah. So anyway, so it was fun to do. So.
No, we thank you. It's great and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's something cool to do. So I
got another track for you guys.
Okay.
Midnight Voyage, a Midnight Voyage.
Yeah, so this song, if anything, this is kind of a normal song for me. So it's more electronic, jazzy kind of stuff that I just kind of came up with one day. I had a sampled track thing that I sampled, and I turned it around and flipped it backwards and came up with a cool sound and, created a song out of it. It's called Midnight Voyage. It's been played quite a bit. It's been out probably about a year now, maybe something like that, maybe a little over a year. But yeah, it's kind of cool. It's really chill. I mean, it's really, really chill.
Well, if it was a year from now, you were definitely in the middle of this whole pandemic deal.
Yeah, and man,
we can figure out how you dealt with it.
Yeah, it's wild. It was a wild thing, but.
Definitely chill, man. I love this. I have your Spotify account open.
Yeah.
At home, and sometimes I sit on the computer and let it roll.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting for my 16-year-old to come by and go, "Dad, what's that?"
Right.
It's definitely soothing, man. It's really chill.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's so weird. Spotify is so weird. The first thing that pops up on my Spotify account is the album that me and a buddy of mine created years ago. And
let's take a look at it.
The one song's called Changing of the Guard, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, it was 1980. I mean, and I can't get rid of it. It doesn't haunt me, but every time I put my name out there, this song comes up because it's licensed to me, or it's licensed to me and my buddy. And it still comes up and it pops up on the weirdest places. It's crazy.
Hey, well.
But
That's the beauty of internet.
I know, man. It's
The whole
crazy.
media
It's,
stuff.
It'll never go away.
never go away, buddy. Never go away. So this was a fun song. It's kind of a little bit more of my chill stuff, which I kind of liked. I like the soothing kind of background textures.
I see there's like a piano to your left,
Yeah. So I have. So obviously I have my Elise's keyboard that I use primarily. That's my kind of main MIDI keyboard. I use the JBL Nearfields, which I love. I love my JBLs. And then on the right-hand side is my Korg Trinity, old Korg Trinity I've had for years. And then also down below, you don't see it, and Gustavo, you'll remember this probably. I have an Ensoniq Mirage. You remember that keyboard?
Awesome. Yeah.
It was freaking years ago. So I do these tracks, and I kind of pull. I throw the floppy disk in, right? And I find the cool sound that I want.
What is that?
Ensoniq.
You're gonna have to explain. You're gonna explain what a floppy disk is to some people. Okay?
Sorry, yeah, I'll have to pull it up. I don't have one handy right now, but yeah, it's a 3.5 inch. You know what it is. What the hell?
But like, for example, this song,
right.
is that like partial keyboard or is that 100% computer? Are you easier to make it quicker on a keyboard, or would it be quicker for you to do the whole thing in the computer?
No, I do everything on a keyboard. I play it, but I play it on my MIDI keyboard. So what I'll do is I'll pick the sounds in the layer that I want, and then I will end up playing it on there and inputting it. Right. So the great thing about having a DAW, as you guys know, I mean, I can play something, and I wouldn't say I'm a piano player, right? I mean, I can play. I have a baby grand at home, and I can sit there and play stuff that I've written. But you throw a piece of music in front of me, and I'll be like trying to hunt and peck and figure it out. I'm not a pianist from that perspective. So a DAW helps me so much because I can really play a little bit. And if I have a place, like a couple of songs have some really fast solos that I couldn't play myself, I play them slow and I speed it up. So it's that's the beauty of being in the digital world. But sometimes I do use my Korg for input. I'll take some of the sounds out of that and I'll use that and layer it to something else. It depends on what it is.
Now, do you actually write music like on paper, or is it all just you just in the computer, right?
I mean, I used to, but I don't do that anymore. In fact, there's programs that I can write it out, but nobody really does that anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if I look at a sheet of music, it looks like alien writing to me.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't get it.
Yeah, I think these days I can absolutely get software to write the music out, but I mean, I typically don't. I don't really need to, but so yeah. So that's a great song. The other song that I really like, and I was thinking about using it for you guys, and obviously you can use it whatever you want. It's it's a song called "The Machine." So it's really kind of dark, more pounding, down, that kind of thing. And so I mixed this kind of, that's it right there. Yeah, Gustavo, man, you're the man. The man. So it's kind of mysterious. It builds up into this piano chords, and it's kind of, and it goes into this really thick
always
beat.
Thought this way.
The what?
When we were getting prepared for this from the trailer.
Yeah.
I was thinking about your music, and so it's definitely like I repeat, chilling.
Yeah.
But you're chilling, but you're still you're still bobbing. You're still give me that beat. It's
like this one here,
doesn't
right?
matter how chill you go. It's that backbeat kick drum.
Yeah.
This reminds me of like an old 80s movie where they're driving at night and they're like looking for something.
Or they're getting ready to kill somebody.
Almost, yeah.
I love it. So, so this is, a little harder style. Again, man, I sit at my piano and I'll write classical, or I'll do, or I'll try to figure out a way to take Beethoven's music and flip it backwards and see how I can, something that will inspire me out of that, This is a cool synth thing out of this too. That's kind of.
Yeah, but like I said, you always have a tendency to create that percussive melody.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, man.
It's like the melodic instruments have that.
Yeah.
You're always looking for that.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. I never really thought about it like that, but like I don't really think about it before. This was going to be, I'll start off with an idea, and I don't really know where it's going to end. Sometimes it just creates itself, kind of.
Like I said, you're always bobbing. Give that crank.
My biggest problem with a lot of music nowadays is it seems so like it's already been done. It's like, okay, that's
the thing, man.
There's
Everything's
so
been
much
done.
of the same stuff that's out there.
Yeah. I always tell people.
That route? I mean, do you ever have that time where you're like, this sounds like I've already done this before?
Yes.
Or is it like?
Well, I think I always use the example when I was an audio engineer, and Gustavo can understand this, man. That's my background. I went to Full Sail. I became an audio engineer after producing this album in the 1979, 1980. I fell in love with producing, and I saw this guy sit behind this MCI console, and it was only 8 channel, but these channels were huge, and I'm like watching the guy do it. And I was like, dude, I got to learn how to do that, and that's why I kind of explored different schools, and that's kind of how I got into it. But it's like the old adage, right? When you start writing music, it's like all that stuff's been done before. I said it's almost like, being an audio guy is easy. All you got to do is move the knobs up and down. I said, and it's like people say there's nothing like that. I mean, it's like playing piano. Playing piano is easy. All you got to do is figure out what note to play after each other. It's easy, right? It's like, I mean, and that's why I tell people, yes, every channel is the same, but just twisting a knob is not the way this works. You got to know what you're doing. You got to, it takes years.
You're gonna like this one. Doing a club gig for a country band, and it was okay. It was a decent show. It's nothing.
Right.
200 people in the room, something like that.
Right.
So I get done with front of the house, and we're kind of starting wrapping up the console, and this dude comes over. He was drunk. He goes,
of course,
dude, awesome keyboard solo, dude. He walks away. And I'm like, thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Dude, I almost have coffee coming out of my nose because I've been there.
Sorry.
That's awesome.
I was like, well, I guess I was part of it somewhat, but yeah.
Oh, man. That's funny, dude. Well, we have stories, right? I mean, it's crazy.
I just want to thank you for making the fact that what Gustavo does is easy.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the whole thing. I say that because it's not easy.
Hey, wait, Mike, what was it you were saying? Say it again.
I should have brought tacos. It's not easy.
You knew I was going to mute you.
It's not easy. Yeah, it's not
I
easy.
know what you're going to do.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of my approach to it.
You know what?
To answer your question, Michael, I think everything's been done. Really, every note has been played. A C is a C, a D is a D. Every note's been played. But writing music's easy, right? All you got to know is what note to put next to what and put it together. I mean, but it doesn't really work that way.
Beautiful.
It doesn't really work
Trust
that way.
me,
But
if
it's
you
a
ask
feeling.
me to write a song, it's going to take years.
That's true, man. That's true. So I have another one that I just released. And actually, this one, believe it or not, I don't know why people love it so much. It's 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, called Imperfect. And I just, I sat down at the piano. I have a baby grand, a white baby grand player downstairs, and I just sat down at the piano and, I just started playing. And then I threw it in the DAW the next day. I added a bass line to it, and people love it. It's just me at piano, so it's kind of simple. It's I called it Imperfect because it is really imperfect. It's just me at piano, right? So.
Interesting. You can hear like this is not just a piano. You put a bunch of sounds on top of it.
Well, I put a bass on it. That's it.
Huh.
Yep. I mean, reverb and some effects, but I mean, for the most part,
those effects are giving me that feel of a clavic.
Yeah.
Clavichord in the back, kind of like just giving small, high timbre reflections. It might have been the room where you went.
Yeah. But it's amazing to me how many people have commented about this song. It's like, you never know, right? I mean, it's totally off. Like when I sit at a piano, this is the kind of stuff I'll do. And then what I'll do is I'll take that song and I'll maybe start putting a beat to it, and then I'll create something else out of it. But I left it alone, so people like it, so I released it.
It's nice.
So
very sweet.
So was this recorded with the piano, or did you transfer to this other DAW system and then do it all on that?
Yeah. So what I did was I have a MIDI keyboard and a MIDI. I forget what you call it. Gustavo, but my keyboard downstairs is a MIDI-enabled keyboard. I have a MIDI-enabled piano, right? So all I did was play it on the piano live, and then take the MIDI file, transfer it up to my DAW, and put my piano sound that I call RBM piano sound.
Okay. So it wasn't an acoustic recording of the baby grand.
Yeah. And I'll do some acoustic stuff too. I haven't done some of that in years, but I have a certain sound that I have that's kind of typically my sound. That's part of the struggle about getting an audience too. For years, I went under the moniker RBM, right? So I had RBM out there. I got quite a few things released under RBM, and it was great, but people could never find me. The problem was that I found out is that there's quite a few RBMs out there. So I got a Latin guy down in South America that's RBM, and so when I go to like YouTube, my YouTube page, I had to just say, you know what, I'm gonna cut the RBM thing out and just use my name, and that's why my views are low and all that stuff, because I really just kind of cut RBM out. Because if you look up RBM, mine doesn't come up. It's this Latin guy doing reggaeton, so it's like which is cool, but. So I just figured I'd do my own thing under my name. So
I got in the television film industry doing special effects.
Right.
And there was a company called RBM as well.
Oh, nice.
And it was Rob Bottin Makeup Effects. So
of course.
Like,
it was crazy.
RBM, I'm sure, is not the only.
Right. I mean, there's one up in Atlanta, RBM Auto Sales. There's there's a malaria disease control company. It's like, the heck with it. It's like RB Malaria Associates. Yeah, I'm like, that's all.
Yeah, I don't think you want the malaria guys with you.
Yeah. So the last song, the last song I have not released yet. So how this thing came to be was I every once in a while we'll get on some of this music shows that happen throughout all over the country. There's a couple of them upstate New York, and there's a couple of them around. There's a big producer show. It's called Entertainment Business, and I was playing around with this song called Beryllium, right? So I didn't have the name. I called it. It was song number 5 or whatever it was, 503, right? So I name my songs depending on, I don't know what it is yet, so I call it song 503. And those are the amount of songs that I have that I haven't finished or whatever, right? So I have number 503. So I sent it to them. I said, listen, I'd love to get your feedback. And you know what? If you guys could help name the song, that would be great. Well, the whole show, and these are pretty big producers, right? I mean, these guys are, and every time I watch the show, it's like these guys show their music and they really beat them up. They go, man, you need some work on the production, or you need, and they rate you. All these kind of producers, do this live show and they kind of rate you. And I've never seen them give anybody over a 5 or a 6, you know what I mean? So, and it's music from all over the place, right? And so anyway, so they glopped onto this and they did a 10-minute segment about Beryllium, and everybody was bringing in chat rooms, and this one girl said, I think it should be called Beryllium, And sure enough, it stuck. So that's where I got the name from. So
do you owe her any royalties now?
no, not at all. So this is a cool song. I haven't released it yet. That's going to be released here pretty soon, but. It's a little dubsteppy here coming up in a minute. Kind of mixed it all in. Here's the drop.
Yeah, for sure. I like it. Very nice, man.
So anyway, so it gives you kind of a rough idea of what I do and what I write, and all of this stuff is available on Where You Buy Music. You know, just look up Rick Barranco and you'll find it. And Beryllium isn't out yet, but it's going to be out pretty soon. So
now, what's the average price for your music?
99 cents, right? You go to, it depends on, they're not any more money than any other tune. You know, you can go and, like if you buy it off of, Google, I think it's 99 cents. And I think most of the songs on iTunes are 129 or 99 cents, something like that. But yeah, but obviously, whoever's watching the show, I can send you a free track, send you the tracks, Hey, it's more about getting out there. It's funny because I'll get I'll check on my royalties and that kind of stuff, and it's nothing, right? It's a couple $100 or whatever. I mean, but funny about it is, iTunes, out of 99 cents or 90 cents or whatever they charge for it, I might make a dime, right? It's crazy.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. It's
wow.
crazy. But
I'm gonna bring up your info again real quick. So. This is basically where you are on SoundCloud and Spotify.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'd love to get feedback from people. Please look me up on SoundCloud or, I love good feedback. I love negative feedback, whatever you like, And then obviously my music is available anywhere you buy music, right? So just look me up.
My only negative comment on you is that, again, your car is too cool for you.
No, I would say too cool for me. I would say the car is cooler than me. Okay, but I have a certain amount of coolness because I bought the car.
Well, yeah, and the other thing is my other thing against you is the fact that you got me addicted to something.
Oh, darn it! Yes.
So, every time now, if anybody wants to sponsor us, this is a great company to sponsor us.
Skinny
we deal
pop.
with the entertainment industry. We eat popcorn when we watch our movies. Right here.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
That was
that's cool.
One of the things that Mr. Barranco has got me hooked on was Skinny Pop popcorn.
I learned a long time ago, you got to take care of your guys. So, when I was doing live events at Disney, they never heard about, what do you mean feed the crew? Don't they just go out for pizzas on their own? Oh, hell no.
Again?
Those people are getting fed in there. My team is getting fed. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
No, man, it's always been great working with you.
Hey, there'll be more, buddy. We'll be working together again soon, so.
No, like I said, you're very cool to work with, very easy to work with.
I appreciate that.
I mean, I know we've
definitely been through some.
Dude. So I love working with you guys because I think Gustavo, man, you're a pro. Michael, you're state of the art, man. You got your crap together, man. You guys are the best. So to help out with a project like this is easy, man. Because I think anybody who needs these services, man, you guys know how to do it. You're pros about it, and I think what's so funny is it's your kind of even keeledness when stuff happens. That especially that one gig, dude, we lost power at the building. Like somebody ran into a pole.
The block.
The whole block went out.
The whole block lost power.
And Michael's like, we're down. I mean, what are you gonna say, right? And they they start walking in with lights to try to get something up, and making it work, man. So
I think the only time I've ever seen you, like, the gears stop in your head was when we had to do an award show, and it's like, oh, by the way, we need to do 100+ independent webcams.
Right. To people that were very not literate on technology, right? So these
not
guys,
just that, but they were drunk.
And they're drunk.
They were drunk.
Yeah, because they're winning an award.
Right. I mean,
I have to compliment you because you were dumped with the task of having to call each one of them.
Oh my gosh,
and,
man!
I mean, you survived.
It was definitely the task that we were just like, yeah. Oh, yeah, give it to Rick.
Well, I'm not one of those guys who like, come on in, you guys do your thing, and I'll get you paid when you're done. I want to. Obviously, I'm producing the thing, so I want to be involved, but I want to help too. So I'm like, I didn't know that's what. Hey, I didn't know by saying, hey, you guys need some help? Yeah, call these people. Okay, I do that. And you guys must have been laughing your ass off.
He's like, man, what did we do to him? You need somebody to help him out. Let's get him Jenny or somebody.
I will say I was a little busy not laughing at you, trying to get everything to all be cohesive. But afterwards, I was just like, that man definitely needs a drink. I mean,
it was fun, man. It was fun. I tell everybody, I sing your praises, both of you guys. Every time we talk about streaming with clients, I go, their number one concern is, hey, I'm concerned about, the web streaming, and I go, you don't even need to worry about that. We got the best guys on the planet, dude. This guy web streams all of NASA's stuff. So make sure when you plan your event and SpaceX and all that stuff, make sure when you plan your event, it's not around a launch. Okay, that's all I gotta ask. So then that makes them feel better, right? So they can do NASA. They can do your 200-person meeting.
We did. What was it, like 70,000 for that one where the building went out? It was like 70.
No,
it was around 70.
30,000. Yeah.
In America.
In America,
but then overseas, the total was like 75,000 around the world.
Yeah. So I don't remember the total number, but yeah.
It was nuts.
It was nuts, man.
But it was fun.
It was fun.
Once again, thank you for coming on.
No problem, buddy.
And talking to us for a while.
It was very fun, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys, and looking forward to working with you guys again. And yeah, man, it was a pleasure coming on here. Hope I didn't talk too much, but
No, great.
It was entertaining.
It's tough. It's tough with a producer who writes, that with music doing these video shows, because sit and listen to it or what, But anyway,
no.
Yeah, we did a good job.
It worked out great.
I enjoyed it.
It worked out good. Yeah, it was good.
And one more thing for our viewers, don't forget that we're in the process of giving away one of these Adamus Connect systems.
Nice.
And it's pretty much for anybody that who wants to enter. All you gotta do is subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we're gonna have more videos coming up soon. And once again, to enter in, you gotta be a subscriber to our YouTube channel. And we'd like to once again thank Mr. Barranco for his time. And for creating a great opening song for us, which we will be definitely using.
Awesome, we appreciate that.
Once again, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Coming back to this, and anytime anybody's got any questions, or if anybody's got any thing for Mr. Barranco, please feel hold to get a hold of him on his Spotify. And,
just look me up and. Again, it's my stuff's available everywhere music's sold. So it doesn't say it there, but look me up on either one of those two, or anywhere you guys watch web streaming or anything like that. You can look up my stuff. You just type my name; it should come up. All the good stuff anyway, so it should be good.
And we'll add all your other contacts into the show notes below. And
don't forget
to subscribe down below and check out the show notes, and we'll leave more contact for Mr. Barranco.
Yeah, you got it,
once
buddy.
again, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Had a great time with you today.
Until next time. God bless, man. See you guys.
Next time we need 10,000 independent video calls.
I think so. We got to do it. I love it. You guys rock, man. Thank you.
Thank you again. There again, once more, there's information. And we've got more people coming up in the future that we're going to interview. And if you have any suggestions of who you want us to get a hold of for future events, for future episodes of this show, please let us know. And we got some really cool people coming up in future episodes. We got some stunt people, some actors, cinematographers, some lighting people. So once again, thank you again for joining us from In the Trailer. The guy to my side of me is Gustavo, and I'm Mike Bernstein. Thank you. Have a great day.
Take care, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this installment of From the Trailer. Don't forget to like and subscribe for the latest news. Tune in next week as Michael and Gustavo interview guests from the world of entertainment and production. For more info, go to obtrailer.com. The on-site broadcasting trailer is available for hire locally and throughout the world if budget allows. Broadcast not intended for legal, medical, or financial advice. Announcer is an unpaid spokesperson. Void where prohibited. Not responsible for personal items left in the trailer. Any resemblance to any living persons or otherwise is purely coincidental. Contents under pressure. Actual retail price may vary. Use only as directed. Keep hands and feet inside the trailer at all times. Professional driver on a closed course. Do not attempt this at home. No animals, technicians, or clients were harmed in the making of this video.